So I am thinking about my experience. That's my theme. I have to have a theme. And really what's come to mind often for me, since I did some transcribing, was this question that Venerable Wu Yin asked. Venerable Wu Yin asked a lot of questions. And I was transcribing these talks that she gave at a Bhikshuni education conference in Taiwan at the end of May. And because it's translated and because her thinking is so picturesque, when some might say circular, it works quite well for my mind because she's like painting pictures with how she speaks. I mean, you type a paragraph and it just, you're just flowing from here to there. And so, and then she punctuates it with questions. So the background to this is, it was a conference for Bhikshuni or fully ordained nuns education. So she took the word in Chinese, because this is all being translated from Chinese to English, Bhikshuni Sangha. And then they drew it up on the board, because I could hear the chalk sounds. And then one part of that word, you know, and the Chinese characters are like symbols almost, has something to do with the sky. So then she has this image of the sky, that we each carry our own little sky. Each person has their own little sky. Kind of like we say here about vibe. You know, everybody has kind of their vibe. But I think sky is a little more, it really could be kind of small and sometimes it can be expansive. And so she keeps asking that question here and there and bringing it up. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And so I kind of carry that around with me. And at one point she says, how big is your sky? And how is it that you can accept someone? This is the question. How is it? How do you accept someone? And that's how she ties us into the sky. So when I go through my day and I find afflictions come up in my mind, there's always the tendency to point the finger outward, and that is already a dead end. So then the job is to turn the mirror to myself. But I find this question helpful because it helps to make my mind more spacious. Like in my mind, I might be dealing with some irritation or some frustration or just, you know, something that kind of comes up repeatedly, different kind of situations. And I can look at it, and because as I analyze, I realize that the work is within myself. Then when I ask myself that question, how big is my sky? How can I accept? This is, I think, what the reverse of having resistance, I think, is acceptance. And so just asking the question actually helps me to create the gap that you need to actually be able to have more clarity. And so I actually quite appreciate having met this woman once, this nun once, in a very helpful situation. She really helped me when I was quite confused. I think that I have some faith in her abilities. And also she's an abbess, so you have to be able to work with people to be an abbess, or I don't think they let you be one. So it gives me a little bit of faith to play with these things. And then her other question is, what's stopping you? And that is really a good question when you're in any kind of situation of trying to change, or even trying to look at something, or trying to aspire to something, maybe aspiring to change the experience that I'm having. What is stopping you? I find it quite helpful just to ask myself these questions and not have any expectations of an answer.